Welcome back to the Fuel Show. Still to come, Dennis is going to be in the pits. And now it's time for our second Behind the Wheel. Saturn is one of the youngest car companies in the world, born in only 1990. The first Saturn car rolled off the production line in Spring Hills, Tennessee on July 30th of that year. In the fall of that year, GM introduced the all-new Saturn car lineup to compete against imports in the small car market. And Saturn has been a great success story for GM. Here's Dennis and Ian to look at the 2007 Saturn Sky.
Thanks, Nick. Now, QFactor is the first category for the Saturn Sky, and, well, those hydroformed longitudinal rails for stiffness that they ripped off from the Corvette have to go in QFactor.
Why you got to say ripped off? I mean, they are from the same family of automobiles.
Borrowed?
How about shared technology?
How about pilfered?
Well, I don't know if that's a little bit harsh, don't you think?
Okay, how about they just went down the hall and got the plans?
Well, not a bad idea. Hey, if I'm going to steal technology, I'm going to steal it from a Chevrolet Corvette. Beyond that, not a lot there. I mean, let's be realistic. It's a basic, bare-bones convertible. It's not designed to be high-tech and multi-positional seats and navigation systems, and there just isn't a lot there. Let's be realistic. It's made to put the top down and go fast in the sun, and that's it.
Yeah, four-wheel anti-lock brakes are standard, but everything else is an option. I mean, stability control and all that stuff. So we'd have to kind of rate it in the middle, maybe a little bit above because of those hydroformed longitudinal rails. 3.25?
I think stealing's a little rough.
Now it's this score, curb appeal for the 2007 Saturn Sky, that I think is going to be high. I mean, it catches everybody's eye.
You're not going to say it stole its looks from another car?
Well, it did kind of steal from the Opel and then also the Pontiac Solstice.
Okay, good point. Hey, listen, there's two cars that sit on this platform that are for sale right here in your neighborhood. One is the Pontiac Solstice. The other is this Saturn Sky. Now, both of us agree. The Pontiac has a Pontiac look. It looks round in the right places. It has the right type of touches to make it a Pontiac. But let's be realistic. The Sky is just flat out better looking.
Yeah.
Nice angular lines, nice crisp body lines that go down the car. It just looks better than the Solstice. I'm sorry, Pontiac. I love you. I've always wanted a WS6 Trans Am with the big flying chicken on it. But the Solstice just doesn't look as good as the Sky.
Yeah, I would have to go high. 4.25?
Absolutely.
Performance is up next for the 2007 Saturn Sky, and one point that I really like about this Roadster is that it's a rear-wheel drive.
And it does lend to a lot of the things that you have to take and put on one plate. When you're looking at performance, you have to take everything but the motor and put it on one plate and then the horsepower on another. You take balance, you take great brakes, you take great turn-in in corners, you take the way that the car flows when it drives down the road. Not too harsh, not too soft. Then you take the plate with the horsepower.
Yeah, it's like one of those foofy restaurants where you get like one clamshell and a little sprig of garlic. Not much.
No, there just really isn't any horsepower. 177 horsepower is not enough for this car. The red line with the turbocharger, that'll be a different story.
Barely over half. I'd have to give it a 3. Fit and finish is our next category for the 2007 Saturn Sky, and I really like the seats. I mean, the bolstered seats really kind of give you that performance Roadster feel.
Yeah, I think the fit is there. If we're looking at the way the panels come together, I think that the finish is where it kind of lacks a little bit. Let's be realistic. It's not a $100,000 Roadster. It's not a Mercedes, not a Ferrari. Let's look at it for what it is. And when you have to put the price into the equation, that's when the score comes down a little bit. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not a high-dollar Roadster.
3.5, I think would be a fair number. Drivability is the final category for the Sky and kind of measures the overall usefulness of a car. And when you're talking about 5.4 feet of cubic cargo room when the top is up, that doesn't add to drivability.
No, there's not a lot of room in it. And you have to look at what you're going to maybe buy versus the Sky. The Miata.
Yeah.
Let's be real. The Miata's been around. It's what kind of staged the rebirth of the small Roadster. Now, is the Sky a competitor? Absolutely. Will that turbocharged car take a real good swing at the Miata's sales and its longevity? Even more so. But the Saturn Sky for right now has got to be one of my best choices. I just like the car. It's not that I can, you can get over lack of horsepower. You can get over having no room to put anything in the back. And I mean anything.
I don't even think your wallet would fit in the trunk.
That's because I have a man purse. It's like, remember the Seinfeld episode? Hey, listen, why you got to make fun of me like that? Hey, listen, it doesn't matter. It's a great car for a person looking for something besides a Miata. Again, we go back to that persona of a girl car. the Saturn is an all-round car for all genders and all demography.
Yeah, it's fun and it's cost-effective. I'd have to go pretty high, maybe 4.
I might even go a little higher, but I think 4 is fair.
Let's see how Dennis and Ian scored the 2007 Saturn Sky. In QFactor, they gave it a 3.25. In curb appeal, a 4.25. For performance, it was a 3.0. And fit and finish, a 3.5. Finally, in drivability, a 4.0. The total for the 2007 Saturn Sky is 18.25 out of a possible 25. When fuel returns, Dennis is going to be in the pits.